Candace Rose Martinez is a gorgeous girl with a bit of a wild streak.
Candace is beautiful, she's energetic, she's full of life. She doesn't really have very many limits. She's kind of crazy in that way.
And when this Juliet meets her Romeo...
The combination of Dave's knowledge of banks and Candace's knowledge of street crime, that they had just enough experience to think, we can do this.
She'll do anything in the name of love.
Candace is a gangster. Whether it's good or whether it's bad, if she sets her mind to it, she's gonna make sure that it's done.
On the outskirts of the nation's capital, the sleepy suburb of Vienna, Virginia, is about to get a wake-up call. Candace Rose Martinez and her boyfriend Dave Williams sit in their car outside a local bank, ready to make a withdrawal. Candace struts into the bank while chatting on her cell phone as the other customers go about their business.
Seemed to be, it's just one of many chores on her list that day. All right, I've got to go pick up my laundry, I've got to, got to go to the grocery store. There's just sort of a thing on the to-do list.
Nothing to see here, just a beautiful woman making a typical withdrawal. That is, if typical is nearly $15,000. And the money isn't yours. High on love and flush with cash, these young lovers never knew it could feel so good to be bad. Sadly, Candace's life before Dave is anything but good. At the tender age of 5, she watches as her father viciously beats her mother in their modest New Mexico home.
You know, he was like a timer. You never knew when he was gonna go off. You know, you never knew when he had had enough.
Candace's parents split, and her mother spirals downward into a haze of drugs and alcohol. The judge awards custody to their father, and without their mother as a buffer, Candace and her sister take the full brunt of their father's physical abuse.
Candace got more of the abuse from my dad because she looks exactly like my mom. It seems like he would resent Candace more because she reminded him so much of her.
Okay, class, remember we have our quiz on Friday. Candace, what's wrong? Go ahead, have a seat. I can't.
In 4th grade, Candace's teacher discovers evidence of her father's abuse.
Class, go ahead and read chapter 4, please.
The girls are taken from him and move in with their mother, out of the frying pan and right into the fire.
When we lived with my mother, there was lots of drug dealers, partying, drinking.
To make matters much, much worse, Candace is sexually abused.
Candace had to face her abuser every day. She had to turn those feelings off for so many things and pretend like everything was okay, even though it probably killed her inside.
When she finally confronts her abuser, the accusations fall on deaf ears. Candace will do anything to escape the neglect.
She couldn't take it no more. She ran into the back room, slammed the door, and jumped out the window.
What are you doing? Don't do that! It's gonna be okay.
I remember helping pull her back up and into the house.
Candace attempts suicide twice before her teens, but as she gets older, she finds a new way to escape her pain.
She would drink, she would do drugs, steal cars, anything. I don't think that she was even consciously aware of how bad things had gotten for her. She was just trying to survive.
Her only model of how to get along in the world was her chaotic life growing up. And so she just recreated that, probably even without thinking, because that's unfortunately the environment she's the most comfortable in as well.
But her life changes dramatically after she sees a commercial for Boys Town, an Omaha-based home for abused and neglected children. It promises help, hope, and healing.
Candace hit rock bottom and started digging for a long time, and she couldn't find her way. Boys Town was her second chance to be the person in her heart and in her mind she really wanted to be.
For the next 5 years, Candace thrives there. She studies hard, works as a statistician for the boys' sports teams, and is a cheerleader. And at 18, Candace becomes the first person in her family to graduate high school. She even earns a full scholarship to the University of Nebraska. Candace is finally on track to have a happy and successful life. But that all changes in college when she dates an abusive guy. Candace quickly slips back into a life of self-destructive behavior.
She didn't know what to do. She was weak, and she gave in. She started doing drugs again. She started messing up.
Candace leaves college and moves back to New Mexico, depressed and ashamed. With little hope of pulling herself back from the brink, Candace is thrown a lifeline when her aunt offers to take her in.
She knew that she was just gonna go right back in the circle that she was started. So that was Candace's ticket, so she left.
Given a fresh start, Candace gets back on track. She lands a job and enrolls at a Northern Virginia community college. And then Candace is swept off her feet by love. His name is Dave Williams, and he's a handsome, charismatic college freshman.
This guy doesn't beat her. This guy doesn't do drugs. He doesn't lie. He's got a good family. Who ever heard of such a thing? And they hit it off, and they talk about their plans and dreams, and at 19 years old, they're in love.
Candace and Dave are on cloud 9, but reality is about to pull them right back down to earth. For the first time in her life, 19-year-old Candace Rose Martinez is head over heels in love with a handsome student named Dave Williams.
We were in love. We started confiding all this stuff in each other. I would marry him.
Candace agreed to detail her story to producers over the phone.
He was like, well, I want to live with you. I want to do this, and I want to do that. And I was so excited, like, cool, yeah, this is going to be fun.
The star-crossed lovers move in together and play house, caught up in the thrill of their exciting whirlwind romance. But then, reality breaks up their fantasy.
They can't really afford it, and their parents are not able to help them. Her part-time job doesn't provide enough income. Dave's parents are in flux. They're having a hard time making ends meet.
With rent and tuition due, they need some quick cash. Eager to impress his gorgeous girlfriend and too proud to ask his parents for money, Dave comes up with a dangerous plan to keep their young love alive.
In the course of how are we going to make it discussions, Dave throws out the idea, why don't we rob a bank?
Dave is a former bank teller and is confident there will be tons of cash on hand, and it's all theirs for the taking.
He was able to say to Candace, we do this, I know how you can do it. The bank tellers are told not to resist when robbers come in. We can go in, we can get the money, we can get back out quickly.
Too risky.
Dave's idea quickly builds steam.
The combination of Dave's knowledge of banks from having worked as a teller and Candace's knowledge of street crime, that they had just enough life experience to think, we can do this.
When we were discussing it, I was like, how do people get caught? Evidence. We can't leave evidence. But I was like, no fingerprints. We can't leave a note.
It's agreed. Dave will carry a shoebox with a demand note taped to the top. This way, no words will need to be spoken. No prints will be left behind. October 12th, 2005, the big day. Candace and Dave sit in their car outside a local bank, ready to launch their plan. A brazen snatch and grab robbery. Get in, get out, quick and easy.
Let's turn around.
Or is it?
I can't do this.
He was nervous, and I saw it. And a nervous person will get you caught.
He can't do this. He's a good kid. This guy's never done any crime.
I was just like, here, let me do it. I'll go in. I can do it. I don't feel anything. I don't feel any fear.
I do it.
Candace grabs the box from Dave, and tells him to call her cell phone and talk her through the robbery.
I'm going in, stay on the phone with me, so if you even see a cop car, you're letting me know so I can run the hell out.
Her cell phone rings as she walks into the bank. There's no turning back now. Candace walks up to the teller and shows her the note. She reacts by stuffing the shoebox with almost $15,000 in cash. While Candace appears calm, she's feeling anything but.
I gotta admit, my heart was, my whole body felt like one big pulse, just pulsing. I'm in here, I'm passing this lady this note. She's building up this box full of money, and I'm just cool as a fan. I'm just looking so composed. My insides are jumping.
The robbery goes down without a hitch, or so they think. The FBI is alerted immediately, and agents scramble to learn the mystery bandit's identity.
We surmised that she was not an experienced robber. She did not wear any kind of concealing disguise or mask. Didn't appear to be an attempt to hide her face from any kind of surveillance cameras. But the surveillance tapes from that bank were not as clear as we would have liked them to be.
Still, it won't be long before Candace and Dave learn the solution to their problems is only the beginning of them. Candace Rose Martinez will do anything for love. After robbing a bank, she and her boyfriend, Dave Williams, have pocketed almost $15,000 in fast cash.
Finally!
To celebrate, Candace buys a puppy she fittingly names Capone. Like her pet's namesake, Candace is seduced by easy money.
I like nice things. I've always looked at magazines, and I've always looked at, girls with great things and nice things, and I always wanted them, so for once in my life, I had the opportunity to do it.
Candace has the perfect cover for her recent windfall.
She called me one day and she told me that she had met a rich boyfriend. She actually sent me $300. She told me, hey, go get yourself some new shoes, go get yourself some nice clothes, get yourself a backpack for school.
By the time they're done celebrating, Candace and Dave barely have enough money to pay the bills. And when her beloved puppy breaks his leg in a freak accident, the vet bills are just too much for Candace.
I just got panicked, so I was like, oh my God, they want $1,000 tomorrow. So I'm like, oh, let's go rob a bank.
On October 21st, 2005, the duo hits another branch, this time in nearby Manassas. Their M.O. is the same.
She approached the teller with a box, one that appeared to be constructed and had a note taped to it that demanded the money from all 3 drawers from that particular teller.
While they don't have a clear surveillance photo of Candace, agents are developing their theories.
She's either had communication with a former bank employee or had some knowledge herself of how the drawers are structured behind the counter in a bank.
With only $3,000 from the last heist, the duo gets greedy for more and strikes another bank barely a day later. But this time, Candace gets a little cocky.
Hey, what are you doing? I need you to put all the $150 in the box. And I need you to empty all the drawers. You have 3.
She speaks to the teller for the first time. That's how they end up hearing that she has a Hispanic accent.
Oblivious to the manhunt, Candace has other worries. Her once blissful romance is showing signs of strain.
I think at that time we were realizing we had just moved too quick. Everything felt so wrong for me at that time.
Candace and Dave spend a few days in New York City in a borrowed car to blow off steam and spend some cash.
Have a good day.
But on the way home, they have an accident and total their friend's vehicle. Candace and Dave need big money fast, and they're about to take their crime spree to a dangerous new level. Candace Rose Martinez and Dave Williams are swept up in a whirlwind romance and crime spree. They've robbed 3 banks in as many weeks. But they've totaled a friend's car, and now they need to hit the jackpot. Candace makes a rash decision for their next heist.
I said, I need a gun because I am scared that these cops are going to get me. They're looking for me. I know they are.
But they're desperate. So on November 4th, 2005, Candace commits one last robbery in Ashburn, Virginia. And this time, she shows the teller she means business.
The teller was terrified by seeing the gun, fearful for her life, not only be robbed, but to be robbed by someone who was armed and who might kill her.
The robbery nets them nearly $25,000. Flush with cash, Candace and Dave head to Atlantic City to celebrate. But they're about to find out, in the end, the house always wins. Unlike the other branches, the last bank has a state-of-the-art surveillance system.
The pictures and those cameras were positioned correctly and very, very clearly captured the bandit's full image and face.
Once her picture hit national TV, it was seen around the country, if not around the world.
The media dubs the mystery woman the cell phone bandit. Everyone is shocked by the beautiful bank robber with the cell phone glued to her ear. And it isn't long before Candace's family gets wind of her exploits.
My face is all over the news.
We were all watching the TV that day, and breaking news, and Candace's face is on TV.
We're gonna get caught.
My heart dropped to the floor, and I was in shock. I didn't know what to do. At first I didn't think it was her. I kept looking, and it was her.
I knew I was going to get caught the second I saw my face on TV. My mother actually called me, and she's like, Candace, what are you doing? I saw you on TV.
Knowing the FBI is closing in, the duo hightails it out of Atlantic City. They decide to split up, and Dave drops Candace off at his brother's house in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And then he makes one very big mistake.
They've rented a car, and they have stashed $10,000 cash is in the trunk of the car. When Dave returns the car, he forgets the cash. Goes back later and says, I need to get to that car again. I left something there.
The rental car agency has already turned the money over to the police. By then, FBI agents have ID'd both Candace and Dave.
We learned Williams had previously been an employee at the bank that was initially robbed in Vienna, Virginia. And we began to suspect very quickly that Dave Williams was involved.
Agents contact Dave's family, and he knows there's little he can do now to prolong the inevitable.
Dave was interviewed voluntarily. He came in with his mother, talked to the FBI, because he knew that we were looking for him.
Dave admits his involvement and is officially charged for his role in the robberies. But Candace refuses to go quietly.
I wanted to disappear. I wanted to get away, or for real, I was hoping the cops would shoot me. I was hoping I could just run and they were just going to take me out. To me, like I said, it was either life or death. I thought I'd be in a casket before I'd be in a prison cell.
But just one day later, Candace is arrested at a friend's apartment. Candace Rose Martinez and Dave Williams are both sentenced to 5 years in prison for conspiracy to commit bank robbery. Candace gets another 7 years for brandishing a weapon during the final robbery.
I don't think she knew at the time how much I looked up to her and depended on her for stability, for guidance in the right direction. I needed her. And Even now, I need her. And she can't be here. And it's hard to deal with.
Now, in federal prison, Candace is writing a book about her life. She deeply regrets her actions and feels guilty for implicating Dave.
Yeah, I wasn't just gonna go think about robbing a bank on my own. And surely he probably would have never did that. It would never happen to either one of us if we never met each other.
To her sister Brittany, Candace Rose Martinez will always be much more than just the cell phone bandit.
I try not to look at how the world looks at her, because I see her for who she really is. In her heart, there is good in there. And she just needs the right place and the right time to show everybody that, there is a rose in there.